August 29th, 1908. We didn't live right in the town, but we lived kind of outside. We didn't, with Daddy, only thing we had to keep us going was Daddy had a sawmill. He would go from farm to farm and saw up the lumber. But he'd always go ahead of us and build a little shack for us to live in. Then he'd come back and get us. So we didn't have much to play with, didn't have anything. But boy, we'd have a time when night come, we'd get in that sawdust, play all the way up till night. So we stayed there a while. My sister had a little sister that died while we lived there. Oh, she is so good. She is so good to live here. And I was a mean one. Daddy always said I was the worst. But she'd stay with me no matter where I was at. She'd go right with me. So, along about, way up about, I guess about, in the time for school to start, why, my grandpa come over from Bloomingdale to get the other, my three sisters, my brother, to start school at Kingsley. So he brought them on, and we just stayed till Daddy got through sawmilling.
Well, how come they wanted you to come to school at Kingsley?
Huh?
How come they wanted you to go to school at Kingsley?
That's where Grandpa lived out here. We was gonna live with Grandpa, my grandpa,
Okay.
out here where the old house is. My brother and my three sisters, so they could start into school, because Daddy wouldn't be through till about maybe November or December, so he wanted to put them in school. And they come on, and then we so while Daddy, he built him a covered wagon, just like we did in the Western, in the covered wagon days. Oh, it was beautiful. He had two of the prettiest horses. So one morning we loaded up, here we started to Virginia. They made me a bed in the back of the wagon out of straw and put a quilt over it. I had my playhouse back there. We didn't have dolls. We just made them out of rags and cut out paper dolls. So I'd play a while and then I'd sleep a while. That night, first night, we got to Nicholsville. And they had a big boarding house there. So we got out and stayed all night. Everybody's out there looking at that covered wagon. I thought I was a bird. I was trying to show them, you know. I was just 4 years old. And so we got up and then we went in to eat. So I looked up that woman that owned it. I said, if you'll follow me, I said, I'll show you where Nicholsville is. Poor thing lived all her life. So we got started again. And we got over here the next day. I guess we got over where we live now. Way up in the night sometime. So that's when they all done started school and doing fine. They was going to the old Kingsley school. All of us did. But then we all graduated.
So
from
how many
grade school.
How many years did you go to? 8th grade?
Uh-huh. So we all graduated. And then we began getting married. Well, there wasn't nobody left but me. I was left in the trot. Daddy said. So finally, when I got married, we moved to Blundell, lived up there a while, and then we moved back down here and built us a home down here. And that's where I had my 3 sweet girls. Pretty ones too. And so they all got married too. I got some grandchildren. Now I've got a lot of great grandchildren. And the newest one is Amara Barnes. And I want everybody to know that I'm proud of them. My girls, grandchildren, my great grandchildren. And I sure love that Amara's mother too. She's sweet. Of course, her husband, a little spoiled by me, but not mad. So we just all live here together now, and we're the happiest we can be.
Well, tell us about killing the possums. When you killed the possums.
One night, Louisa started home, and she'd opened my house, and she blowed that horn, and I went out, and she said, there's rats, big old rats under your bush there. I said, oh, good Lord, get Joe and let him kill them. I said, I don't want them in my house. And yes, so I was standing there talking to Louise, and I just picked up a Coke bottle, kabam, I throwed one, I killed one. Throwed another, and I killed it. I throwed another, killed it. If I had any more, I killed them all, I guess. But run out of bottles. Joe killed the others with the horn. We found out they possums place the rats. I'll never forget that. Joe didn't want to kill them, but I made him.
Did you ever eat possum?
Huh?
Did you ever eat possum?
Yeah. Mama used to fix them, and they were delicious. They are. And squirrels, I love squirrels. I know one night me and my daddy was in the hospital at Bristol. And we come home to do the work, me and Imogene, my sister. So we went to feed everything, you know. And so we was in the house, and we kept hearing the awfulest noise, you know. I mean, and Imogene said, we didn't feed water them hogs. Said, I bet they're dying. Said, Daddy will kill us. Said, they have to have water. So the barn was right out here where Ann's house is. We had to come all the way up that hill. We got a big old bucket of salt. Started up that hill. Oh, we got up the top of there, walked a man right out in front of us. I said, oh my God, Ann, there's a man, let's go. And she wouldn't budge. She just said, I said, come on. And I said, throw that old slop out. I said, no, I'm not going to waste it. And we ain't got no more. I'm telling you, I'll never forget that. Yeah, he walked out in front of us. It's so pretty. You could see the cuffs on his sleeve below his coat. He had a hat on, a necktie. And so the next morning, I made my brother, his friend, come home with him. I made him go to that barn and go through that hole. Hey, man, they took a fork and they went that whole thing up in the barn. I was afraid somebody's hid in there. I wouldn't go. And I got so I'd milk it 4 o'clock a day. I was afraid to go up there. So I'm telling you, I don't want to go through that anymore.
Well, who was
And I said,
it?
if you don't come on, I told her, I said, boy, if you're not the door when I get there, I'm going to lock it. And she throwed it down then, come on. And Grandpa, he wanted to get out, you know. I said, no. I said, they know you draw a pension. I said, they're just wanting to get you out here. Think you got money. But there, it showed where he scrubbed. You know, it's like an old hog. When they get thirsty, Daddy said they'll scrub and rub their hunts thirsty. And he'd rub the door there with a big old can. There it was where he'd done it. I reckon that's the only thing I could think of.
But you don't know what he was wanting?
I'd say that's what, huh?
You don't know what he was
No.
doing?
No, we didn't sleep.
Huh.
Me and him. The bed shook so we couldn't laugh. That bed was going. Oh, I don't want to go do that no more.
Well, tell us some old-timey sayings.
Oh, I can't think of them. Johnny knows all them. I've told him all them.
Well, can you tell them for Amara? I know you got grit in your gizzard.
What?
Grit in your gizzard.
Oh yeah. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And what was that I said to him when he was in here before? He said, I don't remember that and I ain't heard that. I forgot it. I had a whole paper of them. I lost them somewhere. I was going to write them off for him. Look over there. Why'd you get that picture in there? See. I swear, isn't that funny? You know all them old things, can't think of one of them.
Well, you want to tell us about flying? When you went flying?
Went flying. Oh, in that plane? Part of it fell off. I knew this boy had this airplane down there. And he's Gus's friend, my brother. I'd go down there and go riding with him, you know. One day the door or something fell off while I was up there. I said, Lord, this thing's falling apart. He said, no. I said, it'll hang on. Went again, another part fell off. And then my brother and his friend got in it. And they fell down there in Kingsport, right in the middle of town. Down there, about where Ford Motor Company was, right there.
It hurt him?
It fell, but it's the wind was blowing so hard they couldn't. It's in March.
Did
Why
it
they?
hurt him? Did it hurt him?
Did it hurt them?
Well, yeah, skinned them up a little. One of them had a skinned head and burnt his hair a little bit here, and one had a skinned leg. And I saw that farming over there, and I knew he's a farmer, and I knew it's Ray Barker's pal's uncle. I went over, I said, Ray, would Gus happen to be in that? I said, how'd you know? I said, I just knew. Me and Daddy started somewhere, and I said, let's go down there. I said, I bet Gus is in there. Because he always run down with him, you know. Said that they're coming up to Bloomingdale to see the old hometown. And got in on the wind, you couldn't even hardly walk, it was blowing so hard. Yeah, I went over and we went on to the hospital. I said, what happened to you fella? I said, we fell out of a well. That's all they tell me. Pat had his hair, Pat Johnson, he had his hair burned because he had a big skin leg. But they were lucky to be alive. Never even hurt the pilot. I think he's tough as a pine knot. That's one, tough as a pine knot. Thick as grease. Happy as if I had good sense. That's me. Well, she'll be seeing them. And early of the morning.
We're talking about Charles Lindbergh.
Yeah. And I sat right there in front of that TV. Never got up all day.
TV? They didn't even have no TV.
I mean radio. And listen. All night, all day. And I'd cry a while. I thought he's going to get killed. So I'm telling you, I think I was ready to shout when he got there. I'm telling you. He had the nerve to try that.
How old was you, Mama? Do you remember?
He was 20, up in his 20s, I think.
How old were you?
How old was I? Can't remember.
Well, what do you remember about World War II?
Nothing. I don't.
Did you ration pantyhose or?
Sugar?
No.
Mm.
I had plenty.
You didn't have to ration your
I know I
sugar
fell
and stuff?
forward. Hurt my knee one day, and Gus, my brother, said, well, don't worry about your knee. Don't worry about your hose. He said, your knee will grow back. I got the nanny. It's only a pair of ass. Oh, I wanted to hit him. So why cry about your knees? I cry about your hole. That sounds like good. I don't really remember much, but I know He joined the Navy and went to Norfolk up there where Karen them is up in Norfolk News, where it is. It's up where they're at. And he's gone. He got out, and I never did know how he got out. He would come home, I think. I don't know. I know. He come home to his daddy. Daddy got sick. They laid him out for that. You know, on leave, the exempt him. And we all had the flu. I remember that.
You remember what?
Had this first case of flu that come through here, and it just killed people just like flies.
The Spanish flu, the flu of 1919? Did you have a lot of family killed in that? Did you have a lot of family that died in that flu?
What?
Did you have a lot of family that died in that flu?
Well, some cousins, and not like cousins. Mom and Daddy had me and my sisters and my aunt from Washington, D.C. And, you know, they never did take it, Mom and Daddy. Daddy would, when he'd start in the room to doctor us, they just put us all in one room and just lined the beds up, you know.
So you had it.
Yeah. Every time I look up, Mama have that big side ball greasing.
Well, I heard that when these people got sick, that they really couldn't bury them or care for them because there wasn't any well people around.
Was nobody help to help do it. They had this Keaton. And I'm telling you, they'd come in, Daddy'd take a big chew of tobacco and put it in his mouth, and Mama would take her mouth full of snuff. And they never did take it.
Huh.
They'd say that'll pour the germs off.
Tell about the tornado. Tell about the tornado that came through.
Oh, yeah. I won't see no more. I saw the tornado over here coming Westview. You remember that on Westview?
When was this?
I thought she'd read about it. I didn't think she knew about it.
No, I hadn't read about
It's
it.
1914, wasn't it? I know Lita's born on the same day the tornado was. That's why she's so windy.
I don't think she was born in 1914.
No, I said she's born on the 14th.
Oh, the 14th.
March 14th. March.
March 14th. Of what year?
1914. What year? I would say it'd be 1914.
1914. So you got to see it?
I was sitting on my sister from Bristol, her husband was down there, and my other sister and her was there. They'd all spend the night. And I kept on, you know, I kept watching that clouds, you know. I was sitting on the back porch. They was playing rook. They played rook back then. And all at once it began to hail. And you remember the hail, it was that big around, and in the middle, about that much was pure snow, and the rest was ice around it and flat. I went out and picked me up a big bucket, a bowl full and eat it, sit there and eat it on the porch. I kept telling them, I said, that's a tornado. And I said, nah. So, boy, I was awfully thinking. It was, the cloud looked like the big from here to there. You know, it's black as it been going like this and all that red in it. Ooh, that's awful thing. So,
What was the red in it? Lightning?
lightning every minute, every second. Is it a rolling? And this year, my brother-in-law's brother had told me how they were. He lived out in Kansas. He'd had them out there, you know, how they done. Well, we'd all sitting there in our house, going up like this and sitting down. Going up and sitting down. My sister's sitting there, and she said to my brother-in-law, pray, pray. I looked at her and said, what's wrong with you? You can't pray. I said, you need to pray too. But Lord, they woke up the next morning and tore up everything through here. Went up, my brother, he come from Highland Park. he went over on Westview and he looked this way and he said, all my people's over in that big hill right across from their homes. And explode them. If it went straight, they're all over there. That man said, I've never rode with anybody like that. Said he went over trees. He'd get out and saw a limb or two and get that car back. And coming back, we couldn't even get over it. He said, I'd give out starting too. Said he was scared so bad. And when he got to Vermont, you know, it killed them Crockett's right down there below Vermont. You know. I just loved them people. And like, when he got to Vermont, he said his heart went down a little because he'd seen it had cut across toward the high, you know, down over the highway it's now. Went up that way. And he went on. That's when it hit that Keys place up there. You know, tore her house all to pieces. A pair of Keys' sisters in it. It blowed her out of the kitchen. She was in the kitchen, blowed around that big old house, and Landy was sitting in a boxwood. They said they found her. But, and we went all up through we went to the hospital next morning. You couldn't hardly get in. And it's a fool. But I'm telling you, I never want to see another tornado. You ever see one? Don't want to. Lord, that's the scariest looking thing. And they laughed at me till it all happened. Then they changed their tune.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's a tornado. I said, that's what Jim told me they look like. That's Neil's brother. I said, Lord, I don't want to. I went over at Rocco, but next day I had to hit that school over there. There wasn't much but splinters left of that school. Honestly, any of the kids got out. But it didn't kill a foot or two. Because I was fixing to go in the hospital. I was at Bristol ready to go in the hospital to have my back operated on. And I couldn't get in. I come home.
Well, what was
Was no room. They had no room. The halls was full. Well, they brought them in over there being hurt.
wrong with your back?
I fell, had to have my tailbone took off. Oh, I didn't want that either. Can you rub it out? I ain't got no tailbone. To the steps, I fell down the steps.
Well, how old were you?
I was going to high school.
So you went more than just 8th grade?
I went a while to Dobbin Bennett,
Oh, I didn't know that.
but I didn't go back anymore because I missed my sin. Took me so long to get recuperated back. I just quit. Went to
Oh.
work,
Oh,
the press.
you worked at the press.
Yeah,
Now, where did you meet your husband at?
I went to school with him.
Oh,
Yeah. Old hometown people. But the most fun I had was in the covered wagon. I enjoyed that more than anything. I'm going to have to get us a covered wagon and take Amara a ride.
okay, Granny. Well, did you drive cars?
Huh?
Do you remember seeing your first car?
My first car?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, got me a convertible.
That was your first one? Was it convertible?
And I worked the bread.
Well, do you remember seeing the first car?
Oh, yeah. Daddy had every kind that could be thought of. My grandpa said they saw a car coming. When he was growing up, he'd think the world was coming to an end. Them lights coming over the hill. He'd laugh and tell that. It scared us to death. That we thought the world was coming to an end. But, yeah. He had every kind, A model, T model. He had it from time first until the last until he died. He used to drive a taxi cab.
What's that?
Drove a taxi cab.
A taxi cab. Oh.
Yeah. He had his own place. Called it Dad Harris Taxi. He drove all these big Eastmen and me people around. He'd go to Bristol and get them, bring them down, and meet them. And
So you worked at the press. Where else did you work?
that's all. I had my own grocery store
Where was it?
right down here. I don't
Across from Holcomb.
on Holcomb Street. That across there from
Across
Holcomb
the street,
Street
that old
there.
building that says Pam, across the street from Holcomb Street, that used to be their grocery store. Somebody lives in there.
I don't think I know where it's at. Did you like selling groceries? Did you like selling groceries?
No.
How come?
I just too hard on you. Try to keep all them bills paid and all that stuff going. That's take care of them kids too. Ann used to want her milk, and she'd say, "Is it warm?" And night I said, "No, it's not warm, and I'm not warm, and it's you either get up, you drink it or do that." She'd drink it. I laughed. I swear. I'll never forget that. I thought that was the sweetest thing. that girl that helped me in there, Mary Wilson, she called her Twisty Britches. She said, I'm telling, she loved that Mary. But I didn't like it. We sold it once, and I swear I went and bought it back again. I said, I told you I didn't like that old grocery store. You get tired of eating pork and beans. That's what Laney, his brother, said. All you'll eat now is them pork and beans, and you won't have time to cook. You'll have to eat pork and beans.
The wheat.
All that up, so we're putting wheat.
Uh-huh.
And oh, it's so pretty, when the wind would blow it, weed and all. Well, we'd have to cut it by hand. Daddy'd cut it by hand, and we'd have to pick it up and tie it, and stack it, and then we'd take us a can. We'd take us a can out there and some matches and water, and we'd get these Bob Whites. What are they called? No. Partridges. We'd get their eggs. They'd build a nest along the field. We'd boil them eggs. They're the best thing I ever eat. And we'd eat them, stop and eat them, take a salt and stuff. We'd spend a whole can of them. Then we'd tie. You have to cut it by hand,
Well, when you tied it, what exactly were you doing?
Huh?
What do you mean when you tied it?
You took some of the wheat and tied it in a bundle. You've seen these bundles, I guess, on TV. No?
Uh-uh.
You tie it together, and then you stack it, then you pick it up, and then they take it and thrash it, They have these thrashing machines. We take it up to the barn, and the thrashing machine would come through
How would you get it to the barn?
with a wagon.
I thought you said a sled.
Well, we had both. Well, he had everything like that. He had a big wagon and sleds and buggies.
So the horses pulled this for you?
Yep.
And the barn is where Ann's house is at?
Huh?
The barn was where Ann's house is at?
Yeah, it's just this side of it there. It was this side of Ann's house. About where the little house is, I guess. That little house. Or where the head shed is. It's right in there. I knew I used to be scared to death to come up. I saw that man. And we bring it up there, and then the thrashers, they come through. Be about 15 or 20 men in the big thrash machine. They thrash the wheat, put the wheat, that wheat and then straw. Then we'd always fill up our mattresses for our beds with straw. That's what was left on. Oh, it smells so good, to get in that new straw. Then Daddy, he'd stack it up, and then we'd get on them big stacks and mess them down.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes he'd like that, sometimes he didn't like it. we had the best time out of it. I love to watch them thrash. Oh, they, all of them. The man that owned the thrash machine always made it to our house so he could stay all night. He noticed, you know. Him and one man would stay all night, and the rest of the men would sleep in the barn. But they always got plenty to eat. That's what it was. Mom always had always. He loved that fried chicken, Mom. He would eat, and he'd always try to make it there every night to stay all night. So Daddy'd take his wheat then to the mill and get it made into flour. We had a flour. Just had to make it plain then. We didn't have none this year, 2 or 3 kinds of flour, like we do now. Plain, fancy. But then we take our corn to the meat mill and have it ground.
Where did you raise the corn? Where was the cornfield?
Everywhere. We had one big field down here on Bloomingdale one time, big old cornfield. On the road right there where that filling station is, all that out through there, we put that out in corn. Daddy rented from somebody. Then we'd put this in the corn one year and the wheat one year. We'd turn it around, you know. Boy, it's long rows to hoe though, to turn around that field. Now to plow it down to the creek, that's well where Castle was, that's where we moved. Mama come up and she said, "Where's your duck?" I said, "Down there." She said, "Where is it?" I said, "I don't know." And I said, "Well, I held it on the water till its eyes turned its blue. I drowned it." Its eyes turned its blue. She made my brother a pair of pants. And it had a knife, you know. So he come in. Daddy said, "Where's your knife?" He said, "Throw it away." Throw it away. He said, "Why?" I said, "Well, my pants didn't have no pockets in it." I didn't have nowhere to put it. That sounds like me, but it's my brother. But I drowned it to death. I'll never forget that. I can see it the same as yesterday. That hole in under that water.
Well, tell about where you used to get water.
When our sister could go to, we didn't have nothing here but a cistern, you know, up down at the house.
And a cistern is where you catch rainwater?
Yeah, we'd catch it to wash in and mop and stuff like that, but we couldn't drink it. We didn't have, we caught water, when it'd go dry, that's what I meant. You know, in the summer, sometimes it don't rain.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to go from over here in front of Louis Jojo lived, and go down that hill. And Lyman and them had a big spring over at their house, and we'd have to carry water from there, straight up that hill.
Oh, goodness.
And we couldn't, time we'd get home, we wouldn't have 1.5 bucket. Daddy would go then, and when we, needed a lot of water, he'd take barrels and put them in the wagon and haul them. But Lord, that's the best water I ever drank. But we had to carry it up there to drink. We had to have water to drink. But that's awful, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Daddy finally, we drilled a well out there at Daddy's, but it wasn't too good before they put the water in Bloomingdale. So we didn't have to use it much. I've got to be excused a few minutes.
You're choking me. She's got. She's so beautiful, girl. She's so beautiful, girl. She's such a beautiful girl. Put them things. Oh, she cute. Scratch my chin. She's been rubbing my eyes. Get little snickers. Get little snickers.
Did you get that?
Nope.
Blind dog, like a blind dog in a meat house.
Okay.
Don't bit more carrying no cow and her dry. Flat as a flitter.
What does that mean?
Yeah, she done got that. I saw the one that bottles in the bathroom. I forgot it before I got out. Isn't that awful? I thought flat as a flitter.
What does flat as a flitter mean?
Then you're flat as like a pancake. You're not there. You're a little off up here.
Let's see. I can't think of any more.
Huh? You like a little bit of what I like a whole lot of. You know what it is? Spring. Hot as a firecracker. I always heard as hot as a red poker. Huh?
It's a cold bucket. Them is a cold bucket.
And then Ann was in the kitchen washing the dishes, and John was outside playing. And all at once, we heard somebody singing,
She been a rabbit?
and we looked out. It was Brother Johnny singing, "Raindrops falling on my head." He sung that whole song. We didn't even know he knew it. How old was he, Ann?
It was just small.
About 3 years old, 2 or 3 years old. Just a little old tiger. I'll never forget that.
You want Mara to sing it when she gets that old. You want Amara, him to teach it to Amara.
And one thing's certain, when she gets big enough to sing, he better have her singing it when he comes in.
Okay.
Or off come his. I'll make him sing it, every bit of it. Tell him I said so.